How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. This is Big Day Dave, and this is a map tour for a new-ish mod map to Farming Simulator 25 for PC and Mac only, called Oak City. And we're going to start with a description from the mod hub, and it reads: Welcome to this 4X map loosely inspired by Oak City, Utah, USA. This is a land of pioneers, with much of it still undeveloped. The city is located over 1,000 meters above sea level at the foot of the Rocky Mountains. Main features: 462 hectares of arable fields divided into 85 plots. Customized map for precision farming. Large space to clear. 4 selling points. Some production chains. 3 water points. Many destructible rocks. You can purchase the Great Basin Cattle Ranch by purchasing Plot 86. AI network for better movement without additional mods. Most fences can be removed in construction mode. You can go look at rare flowers to complete the collection. The pioneers have buried their treasure. You need a lot of courage to find it. Now, as I am late to this map, there has been a changelog, and it is changelog 1.1.0.0, and it reads: New save required. Fix for stones not appearing. Fix shadows that were visible on map edges. Adjusted fences and field entrances. There are mods required for this map, and they are the Bioplastics Factory by JM Gaming and the Old Storage Barn, also by JM Gaming. This map is a North American map and is created by JM Gaming and is 299.24 megabytes to download. If we take a look at the map, this is what it looks like. We start out down towards the southern portion of the map, right down here. And we start out by owning farmlands number 153, 154, 155, 156, and 157. 153 and 154 are fields with no product in it. 155 is it's not a grass field, but it's more of a grassland. So it's just kind of an open plot with grass that you could presumably mow. 156 is your main starting farm and a field with no product in it. And 157 is another field with no product in it. You cannot purchase all areas of the map. As you can see down here in town, there are plenty of places where you cannot purchase. And field prices on the map do vary, but you do get a pretty good range of pricing here. So 90,000 for one of the smaller southern fields here. We got 190,000, 135, 64, 114, 127, 153. We go a little bit further north, 432,000, 429,000. One of the bigger circular fields for almost 3/4 of a mil. We've got 568,000, 568,000, 252,000. So you got a pretty good range and scaling of your fields. Now, you also get a lot of these areas where you just have plots out in the middle of nowhere, and they can, again, range just like the others: 100,000, 210, 20,000, 858,000, 695,000, 155, 514, and so on and so forth. There's no real big forestry areas or anything like that on this map. It really is not that style of map. It's mostly just arables and kind of open, kind of constructible slash grass care, perhaps, land. We don't start out with any animal pens. We do have contracts available for us. Now, on this map, we don't start out with any production chains, but we do have some available for us. And then if we scroll over to the right, you will see that we do have collectibles on this map, 71 of them to be precise. Now, if we take a look at mods specific to this map, starting out under the Buy menu, you can see there's no Mods and DLCs tab here, so there are no mods specific to this map on the Buy menu. But we take a look under the Build menu. There's absolutely no mod specific to this map under the Buildings tab, the Productions tab, Animals tab, Decorations tab. But once we get down here to Landscaping, we scroll over to Painting, you'll see that we have a bunch of additional painting swatches here. So those are specific to this map. And there is nothing here for trees, but under Plants, if you scroll all the way down here, you'll see where it says Bush Oak City Mod. Those are mods that are specific to this map. So we have mods specific to this map on this tab. All right, so if we go ahead and start walking around here and seeing what we have to offer, we walk down the road just a little bit from where you start out, and over there we have the Deseret Grain Traders sell point. Continuing down the road just a little bit. Crossing a little stream. On the other side of the road, we just keep heading off in this direction, and you can start to see off in the distance there, that is our main starting farm. So cross one more time into here. Now, because we're at our starting farm, let's take a look at our starting equipment. We go here, scroll, nope, to the left, you'll see we have the Brantner TR34090 PT+ trailer, the Demco HDHT52 header trailer. We got the Horsch Mistro 24.50 SV planter. We have a International Series 200 truck, the John Deere 8R410, the John Deere 9R640, the John Deere 9RX640, the John Deere C16F corn header and sunflower header. We also got the John Deere HD50F grain header. We got the John Deere X9 1100 harvester, another X9 1100 harvester, the Lemken Solitaire 12 seeder, and that's it. So you start out with a pretty decent array of equipment here. So first things first, fuel tank right over here. Got some storage for our tractors are hiding in there, and a whole bunch of storage right up in here. You can see our couple of harvesters are hanging out there. Our seeder that's right there. Or no, I'm sorry, the planter that's right there. Off in the distance here, we have our main farm silo. Over here, we open this up. We have a bale and pallet storage. So we have our input for it right here, and output is right here. And now over here, if we come down the little hill, nope. Sleep trigger and wardrobe trigger. And that's it. That's the farm. That's the main starting farm. It's not that big. It's decent size, but it's not that expansive when it comes to the kind of diversity that's there. Now, one thing I did notice, I did want to point out before leaving, if you look at this flag here, you can see it's kind of waving in the wrong direction. So, just something I noticed, and it's not a big deal at the end of the day, but just something I wanted to point out. Now, heading towards the heart of town. Cross over. And we have the cement factory. Over there is the input for it. Just go around the backside over here. Output right here. And you can purchase it for $370,000. Next door, here we have the bakery. You can purchase this for $150,000. We have our output here and input around the back over here. And next door to that, we have the dairy. You can purchase this for $210,000. We have our output here and input around the back over here. Heading down the road a little bit, making a right. Now this is the Red Rock Harvest sell point. So we have our sell point here for our loose grains, and then on the other side tends to be our palleted goods. So actually they may have only done the loose grains for this one. So I didn't see the actual trigger. I was just going off based off of the this being the farmer's market. Typically it has both, but I don't know, may have limited it. down the road a little ways. Oops, hey. Over here, we have the shop trigger. That's way out here for some reason. I'm not quite sure why it's all the way out here, but you can see it is out in the middle of the driveway, way outside of where the actual shop is. And then repair trigger right in the corner over here. Get turned around. All right, so over here, let's see, it's back here, I do believe. Yep, sleep trigger right back here. Heading down the road just a little bit. Right in here, we have the bioplastics factory. So you can purchase it right over here for $100,000. We have an input right here, input here, and I believe the output, let's see, where was that output? It's on the side. Where did I see the output? I forget now. Huh. I thought I'd seen it earlier, but guess I was wrong. But anyways, we take a look at this one because this is a unique production point. Go ahead and actually go into this screen here, the bioplastics factory. So you have your inputs and outputs such as canola, corn, cotton, potatoes, soybeans, sugarcane, wheat, and wood chips, and you get all these various outputs of like polyurethane, polylactic acid, cellulose acetate, and let's see, there was another one. Polyethylene, was that one that I read off already? I think it was, yeah, polyethylene. So yeah, so you get a fair bit of different outputs for this stuff. So that's actually pretty cool. And actually, no, what was I thinking? That was the output. I said this is the input earlier. No, that's the output right there. Ay, ay, ay. Okay, moving on. Head around in this direction. And whoops, 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 easy. Right over here. Is the sawmill. You can purchase this for $300,000. We have an input here with a wood cell trigger right there, and our output for it is right there. And now, go down the road a little ways. Oh, I made a wrong turn. That is a little water point right there. Yeah, I went the wrong way. Meant to double back down this way and head out. There we go. Now we're cooking. We head down this side trail here. Another water fill point right there. And now we just take this all the way out until we get to our next point of interest. Before too much longer, we'll start to see it come into view, as you can see. All right, so right here, we'll go ahead and come to a stop. So over here, we have, this is the High Plains Cattle Co. This is the animal dealer. Now, if you have pens and pastures that are already placed down on the map, you can go ahead and come to this location and use this icon directly, or you can use this same icon at any of the pens and pastures you have placed down on the map. If you use it directly, though, you will incur an additional fee. That fee is associated to a delivery fee. The animal dealer is taking the animals from this location and transporting them to your pens and pastures for you for a price. Now, just to kind of give you some reference, an adult cow will cost you an extra $100 per cow in addition to their base price. So it adds up very quickly. If you want to save that money, bring an animal trailer to this location, whether it's leased or owned, bring it over here and park it inside of this hazard mark area. You then use this animal dialog box. It will load the animals directly into the animal trailer rather than trying to put them in the pens and pastures for you, and then it will save you that fee. You then deliver the animals to the pens and pastures and unload them over there. So that is how you can save a little bit of cash. Over here, we have the High Plains Cattle Co. sell point. And then across the street, right there is the Frontier Harvest and Supply sell point. And now, I'm going to head out, continuing to head out towards the edge of the map. So you can see right here is that kind of grassland area I was talking about earlier. So you can see, I mean, it is grass that is here. It's just my question is whether or not it's actual, like, mowable grass where you're going to get, like, actual a product from it. Well, you can see just how untamed it is out here, and it's your job to where if you buy this land to come out here and to, you know, settle it down a little bit, but it is rather rough out here. So we continue to head north until we come up to our first kind of crossroad out here, which is coming up. Right here. Slow down and make a right. And now we follow this all the way out to our next point of interest. Which should be just down the road, just a little ways. There we go. Just popped up in the background there. That's our next point of interest. This being a large 4X map, you have some quite large distance to travel before you get to anything of, you know, relative interests. All right, so coming up here, go ahead and come to a stop. This is the Great Basin Cattle Ranch. So if we come over here, we take a look at the map. So let's take a look and see what we've seen so far. So we started about right here on the map. We went up to the Deseret Grain Traders. We then, oops, wrong button. We then went up to this road, over to the starting farm where we saw the fuel tank, the silo, bale and pallet storage, and the sleep trigger, wardrobe trigger. We then came over to the cement factory, then over to the bakery and dairy, then came up and around to the Red Rock Harvest sell point, and then over to the shop trigger repair trigger, or the Agri Power Motors as it's called here in game. We then saw the sleep trigger that was over here, then over to the bioplastics factory, and then over to the sawmill. We then supposed to have backtracked, but we went a little out of the way. Over to here where we saw the animal dealer, aka the High Plains Cattle Co. and the High Plains Cattle Co. sell point, and then across the street to the Frontier Harvest and Supply. We then went up and over to Farmland number 86. $822,514 will purchase this plot of land. Oops, didn't want to visit it. I want to buy it. There we go. and you get the cattle barn. That is everything here. So if we run back over towards the barn, we do start out with some animals here, and we have 50 of them, uh, to be precise, and room for 291 cows. So if I open this door up, you can see we got our animal trigger right there, milk trigger there. We can blow straw in either through here, or we can blow it in through here. We have a feed point right here. Slurry trigger over here, and we have the automatic food mixer. So we can make our TMR directly using this, and to use it, you just put in your hay, straw, silage, and mineral feed, and then at the top of each hour, the robot will automatically feed your cows, and you'll be good to go from there. But as you can see, you have no feed, you have no straw, you have nothing in this pen whatsoever. And I am apparently blocking off traffic, so let's go ahead and hop back in the truck. And get out of everyone's way. Okay. So now make a left and go to our last point of interest. As you can see, just down the road a little ways. Just up here to my left, you'll see that is the Grain Harvest Corp sell point. And that's it. That is everything here for Oak City. Now it's time to render my opinion, let you know what I think. 0 to 5 scale as per usual. So I really like this map. I think that this has some great potential to it, but there are quite a few rough edges. So let's start out with those rough edges. First off, this right here. So you got this kind of entrance into a dirt road, and you can see the hard transition between the dirt road and paved road that we have right here. It's very kind of shocking, and you can even see this kind of transition from dirt road to dirt road. It's very immersion breaking for me personally. Outside of that, the other things I've kind of noticed is that there are plenty of bushes and shrubberies and gates and power poles and all that stuff that really do kind of draw your attention, but there's still a lot of area that really kind of is wide open. So it does leave the ability for the game to kind of render at long distances. So you get kind of that same old kind of thing that happens to most of these flatter style maps. Now, it's not that this is a flat map. This isn't far from it. You do get the kind of rolling hills, especially towards the eastern side of the map, where you have the kind of mountain range there, because this is supposed to be like right there next to the Rockies in Utah. So you do get that kind of gentle slope going from, you know, what would be east to west, but it gets really intense when you get further towards the mountains there. Now, something I do like about this map is this kind of silhouette on the outskirts there. I like that because it really helps to kind of give that immersion of being there in the Rockies. And you can see just how it kind of levels out and mellows out towards the western portion of the map. It's quite nice. I like that. Outside of that, I just like the look and the feel. The color palette is really nice. It seems like to really fit for the area in which it's trying to portray. So it's not got it doesn't have a lot of areas that are popping with a bunch of color and tons of wildflowers, except for those areas that are kind of man-made kind of areas. Those areas have, you know, quite a bit of colors to kind of pop off. But this one, like, doesn't have a ton of wildflowers. It has a lot of these kind of shrubs and bushes that are just kind of hanging out everywhere. Now you can see this road. This one does a better job in that transition. You can see it doesn't have that hard transition. So it's really like sporadic as the areas that do have that transition. That's really kind of like, boom, it's right there. But outside of that, I love the terrain. It has multiple different I don't want to call them necessarily biomes, but you get the kind of rockier, kind of hilly areas out here towards the east. You get the smoother kind of plains area out to the west. And if you just kind of take a look around, you can just see, I mean, there's plenty of area for you to expand. There is some trees, but it's not overwhelming. This is far from a forestry map. I mean, it is not a forestry map at all, but it will give you some, if you want to. And if we just kind of travel out here, you can see just how hilly it starts to get out here towards the east of the map. It's very nice. I think the map maker did a really good job in capturing like what topography would be if you were out there by the mountains. And then again, you see the hill and how it kind of blends into the outer picture of the map. The map maker took the time to make it to where it's actually kind of blending into the rest of the scenery around here. So it's really nice. So you can start out with having the starting farm, or you can be out here in the east where you have a little bit more to deal with and a little bit of a struggle to build a field and farms and all that stuff. Like, you're gonna have some challenges being out in this side of the map, and really you're gonna have your own unique challenges out to the west there as well. So yeah, all in all, I like it. So what would I give this? 0 to 5 skill, as per usual. I'd probably give this, I think, a solid 4. I think I could even get this up to approaching a 4.5 if the map maker were to address the kind of hard transitions there are between the road networks. Maybe even kind of addressing how the roads interact with the landscape, so you can see how the road itself is very visible. Like, it just kind of looks like it's kind of overlaid on top of the terrain rather than it being like a part of the terrain. So those things got fixed. This would be a extremely solid map. Like I said, I do like this a lot. And yeah, I think probably the only other kind of thing that I'm not too terribly impressed with is the kind of starting farm area over here. The starting farm is kind of really toned down. There's not a lot going on. You do get a silo, you do get a kind of bale and pallet storage, but it just seems very open and very underdeveloped. But I mean, that's also a good thing, because that's going to give you the opportunity to be able to build it up however you see fit. And then you get this really highly detailed town area here, which is really cool because you get all sorts of stuff that are kind of going on at any given time. It's nice. It just kind of fits. And like I said, I like it. And I hope you like it too. And I hope you enjoyed this map tour. And if you did, please show me by liking, sharing, subscribing, following, commenting, doing all the things the algorithms enjoy you doing. It shows you're engaged with this channel, enjoying the content. And that being said, I hope everybody has a fantastic day. Take care.